Hey everybody, hope you guys are healthy and safe. So this is the Vivo X300 Pro Photographer Kit. So this kit here contains the Vivo X300 Pro smartphone. This is the newest flagship phone from Vivo. It is launching globally, not just in China. And it includes that Zeiss telephoto converter lens, which we saw made its debut with the X200 Ultra series. So I think what we've seen now from Vivo is that every year with the Ultra phone, Vivo will introduce something new, something bleeding edge. And then 6 months later, bring that bleeding edge technology to the Pro phone, which are more mainstream, a little bit more affordable, and also sells globally. We have the set right here, including this guy, the star of the show. But let's unbox the X300 Pro first. Here's the Vivo X300 Pro. We have a design that's even more flatter than the X200 Ultra. So this screen now is now completely flat. There are no longer the quad curves that I really like. You have a SIM ejection tool here, and then a case. But you know, we won't be using this case because this photography kit comes with a better case. And a USB-C cable and no charger. Okay, no charger in the box this year. And now this is the photographer kit. So it's basically a case that you snap onto the phone. And then from here, and then you snap on this cover here. And then after that, you can screw on the lens. And there's also a camera handle that just plugs into the phone like this. And then now you have yourself a phone that looks like a camera. But I haven't set up the phone yet, obviously, so I'm gonna set it up and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've been using the X300 Pro for the past 13 hours now. I've already snapped over 200 photos. Now, while this is still not long enough for a full review, it's enough for first impressions. So the first thing I want to say is that if you go into the X300 Pro expecting a generational jump over the X200 Ultra, you're going to be disappointed because this phone, it's an iterative, small update refinement on the X200 Ultra instead of like a next generation jump. And in fact, you shouldn't really compare the two phones anyway because the X200 Ultra, it's a separate line. That phone is only selling in China. And the Ultra line, it's above the Pro line. So really, this phone should be compared against the X200 Pro. And if you look at it that way, then there are a lot of improvements across the board. So let's take a look at the hardware. As I mentioned earlier, the X300 Pro has a more iPhone-like design in that the screen is now completely flat. It no longer has the subtle curvatures on all four sides like the Vivo X200 Ultra and the X200 Pro. Now, I've been vocal in saying I like that design with the quad curves. So I don't like this flat screen as much as I like that, but I do know there are a lot of people who prefer completely flat screens, so good for you guys win. But the completely blocky design does make the phone a little bit easier to grip than say previous curvy Android phones like the X100 Pro, the X90 Pro. So the X300 Pro comes with a new chip, the MediaTek Dimensity 9500. This is the newest MediaTek chip designed to go head to head against the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. Now I've only been using the phone for about, what, like 12-13 hours, so I haven't had much time to push performance, but I'll cover that more in the full review. I wanted to focus more on the cameras in this video because I think everybody who wants a Vivo phone lately, they want it because of the cameras. So what's new with the X300 Pro is that the main camera and the Periscope zoom lens got a new sensor. It's a slight update on the existing sensor in the X200 Pro and on the X200 Ultra. So the main camera is now a Sony LYT828, whereas on the X200 Ultra, it was the LYT828. And the Periscope zoom lens, it's the ISOCELL HPB compared to the HP9 used in the X200 Ultra. Now, both of these sensors are minor updates. They're not like a huge jump because the specs in terms of aperture and sensor size are exactly the same actually. So the main camera is still f1.6 aperture, 1/1.3 inch sensor size. The Periscope zoom lens, it's f2.6 aperture and 1/1.4 inch sensor size. So the sensor size is exactly the same as the last generation, but the newest sensors does mean it's a little bit more efficient in processing photos. I do notice that photos snap a little bit faster than the X200 Ultra, and it's also a little bit more energy efficient. Now the ultra-wide camera, it's not as good as the X200 Ultra because the X200 Ultra is ultra-wide. It's the same sensor as the main camera, the 818. But here, it's going with a JN1 sensor, much smaller sensor size of 1/2.7 inch. But hey, it's only a downgrade in ultra-wide if you compare against the X200 Ultra, which has the best-in-class ultra-wide. If you compare this ultra-wide against any other phone, the hardware is still very much up there. This same sensor for the ultra-wide, the JN1, is used for the front-facing camera also. Now, for a front-facing camera, that's a really good sensor. So 50 megapixel, 1/2.7 inch sensor size for a front-facing camera. So I'm not much of a selfie person, but this selfie camera is noticeably better than the front-facing camera of the X200 Ultra and the X200 Pro. But of course, with a Vivo phone, it's not all about just camera hardware. Like, most of us agree that Vivo's cameras have been the best because of good hardware, but also best-in-class software image processing. In terms of color science and the tones and the artificial bokeh, the portrait mode with like realistic colors and vintage film simulations, like all these things, Vivo has been leading the way. And I'm happy to report all those are here. And according to my guy Keyshoff at Vivo, shout out to Keyshoff, a lot of the software algorithm here, it's new. It's redesigned for the X300 Pro's new sensor. And according to Vivo, the software processing is better than what's in the X200 Ultra or the X200 Pro. So one of the areas that the software has improved is you can take a portrait shot in full 200 megapixel resolution. Now you can do that with the X200 Ultra too, but the X300 Pro can do a better job because apparently they're using some image stacking technology so that you get a shot that is very detailed. Like, check out right here, I took a portrait of my friend TK, and look at how far you can zoom in on the photo. You can even see the individual strands of his beard. But I will definitely test out this 200 megapixel portrait a little bit more. But this is not a mode that you can use regularly because the file sizes are huge, and also the shutter speed slows down significantly. Like, you need that person to be staying still in order to use this 200 megapixel portrait mode. Now, I have snapped about a dozen photos side by side with this phone, the X200 Ultra. So far, the images look very similar to me. I can't quite tell which one is better yet. I will need to do more testing. But if you take the X200 Ultra out of the equation and just look at the photo samples here, they're beautiful. And then if you compare against the iPhone, then I prefer the images of the X300 Pro over the iPhone almost every time, particularly when it comes to telephoto zoom pictures. I am also a huge fan of the street photography mode. This is not new. It's been around since the X200 Pro, but you swipe up from the camera app, you go into this new camera UI that resembles a street photography. You get this different UI and different film simulation filters. I love the classic negative filter, and I've just been going around Shanghai snapping random street photography of people on the street, buildings, and just look at these samples. I think they look really good, right? Like, Vivo's color science is just the best in class. I'm also very happy to report that the video recording here is top notch with great stabilization, and you can record 10-bit log video all the way up to 4K 120 FPS now. You couldn't do that before. You maxed out at, I think, 4K 60, but now you can shoot 4K 120 at 10-bit log. If you're not familiar with log video, they're basically video shot in a default flat color science, because the idea is that we can then take that flat, like almost black and white log footage into a video editing app and apply our own LUTs or color grade ourselves. Right here, you're watching log footage that I shot the last 12 hours, and you can see that I've applied some LUT and color graded it a little bit to give it more of a moodier vibe, and you can see the videos are really good. So elsewhere, another big thing with the X300 Pro is that this phone, it's the global version, but it's running on Origin OS because Vivo is finally bringing Origin OS to the global market. So no more Fun Touch. I would describe it as like 75% Origin OS and still 25% Fun Touch, because there's still some elements here that feels a little bit Fun Touch-y to me. You don't get all the customization that the Origin OS China version gets, and the animations in the original China version is still a little bit more smoother, more fluid to my eyes than this guy. Now, don't get me wrong, the animations here are not slow at all, but they're just a beat not as zippy as the Origin OS China animations. Like, the animations here still feel like Fun Touch's animations, which feels a little bit slow in my opinion, but hopefully Vivo can fix that down the line. But you do get the interactive widgets that Origin OS has been having for a few years. So you can put a recorder widget on the home screen that allows you to begin a recording with just the widget. You don't have to jump into the actual recorder app to begin a recording. And then because this is a global version, you have access to all of Google's AI features. So Gemini is here by default. You have generative AI photo editing and much better voice transcription than you would get out of the China version of Vivo devices. So don't get me wrong, this software is a big improvement over FunTouch OS from before, but it's still not all the way there in terms of aesthetics as Origin OS, the China version. Because now finally, the battery in here, it's going to be a little bit disappointing to my viewers. So this is the global version, the EU version, and the battery in here, it's only 5,440 milliamp hour. Now, this is still larger than we get from an iPhone or a Pixel, but this is relatively small compared to what we're going to get from Honor or Oppo or what Xiaomi's already giving us. All three of these Chinese brands, they're going to give us flagships with like 7,000 milliamp hour battery. So the fact that this is 5,440 milliamp hour, it's a little bit disappointing because that's a significantly smaller battery. I still think this battery is going to be enough to last me all day, but you know, other brands are giving you 7,000 milliamp hour. What else? This phone is relatively thin at 8 millimeters and 226 grams. So I think what we're seeing Vivo doing is, like I said at the beginning, is that every year with the Ultra, Vivo's gonna basically give you everything, including the kitchen sink, put all the newest components and most hardcore tech out there, even if the phone it's a little bit unwieldy. Because the X200 Ultra, the camera bump is so big that I don't think many casual people would want to carry that. Like when you put it into, like when I put it into my pocket, I can actually see the outline of the camera bump stick out from the pant pocket. I don't mind because I'm a camera geek, but I think a lot of people do mind. So what Vivo's doing is the Ultra, it's for the crazy enthusiasts who don't mind. And then 6 months later, they will bring most of that new technology to a Pro model that's a little bit sleeker, a little bit more affordable with wider global appeal because this one's launching global. Oh yeah, I almost forgot to mention, there's still that Zeiss lens I haven't really covered in this video much, but the lens and the case, in terms of hardware, it's exactly the same as the lens used in the X200 Ultra. So that means I already know how it performs. It basically magnifies the 85 millimeter zoom lens into an optical 200 millimeter zoom. Now you can zoom even longer using digital zoom. Like you can get up to like 400, 600, even like up to 1,600 millimeter. But at 1,600 millimeter, I think you're getting a lot of digital sharpening. So I'd rather keep it at 200 or 400 to get really nice looking, like near lossless quality zoom shots. So yeah, that's my very quick hands-on on the Vivo X300 Pro. I will have a lot more coming, including a full review and camera shootouts against other phones. So if you're interested in keeping up to date with the latest on this phone and also other consumer tech, please consider subscribing to my channel. It will help me a lot. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.